stampers. I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and I have to tell you, I was kind of surprised this month at how much I loved the Reason for the Season stamp set that I featured for Stamps in the Mail Club. So remember to get your kit soon if you'd like to request one. But the card that I'm going to share with you today is fun. It's a super trendy one that uses the typeset designer paper background, sort of for collage effect. So I'll give you some tips on how to position your images for collage stamping, and then you'll be able to make this card from your Stamps in the Mail Club kit. So let's get stamping. So gather your pieces. You're also going to need a little tiny strip of sequins that was included with your treat bag and tag kit. And I'm going to go ahead and start by folding my card base. So I have Real Red for that. And then I'm going to layer on this piece of Old Olive. And why not use Stampin' Dimensionals, right? So this gets folded and or added to dimensionals and then layered on top. And then the next piece that gets layered on top of that is the typeset designer paper. But before we put that on there, I want to get my stamping started. All right, so I have, because we're using a photopolymer stamp set, I have my paper piercing mat to help me get good contact. And then to protect my mat from all kinds of ink, I'm going to put a piece of table paper, the grid paper, there in between. So I'm going to give you some tips for using your collage stamping skills. So if you're not sure on how to orient these, a quick reminder is remember to watch on your, whoa, there's two stamps on that one. Watch on your stamps so that you get your tabs of the photopolymer all kind of pointed the same direction when you stamp. So I have mine pointed to the left. Now when you collage stamp, I usually kind of start with one image that wants to be the focal point, because I'm going to cover this part up over here, and then I start to work in a triangle. So I have 1 and then 2, and I know that'll be mostly covered up, but that's okay. And then if I make sort of a triangle shape out of there, that third one is going to be over here. So what I avoided doing was putting this one directly below this one. So see how it's a little bit shifted over to the side? You want to have your stamping look like it's kind of random and cut out of a piece of giant paper, which is why you have this off the edge of your cardstock or your designer paper. And you also want to avoid having your pieces look like they're, like lined up in a row, like, school kids following the leader. That's not usually the effect that you're going to be happy with. So, next piece is my red, Real Red ink. And again, I have my photopolymer tab kind of to the side, so it gives me a good starting point for lining up my flowers. And I honestly don't freak out too much if my stamping is not exactly perfectly lined up, because that, first of all, takes too much energy, and second of all, it's a collage element, so it's supposed to look a little bit freeform. And then finally is my Old Olive, and you can use your markers. The advantage of using your markers is you won't get a mess of ink there. If you're using an Old Olive ink pad, please ink very gently so that you don't ink the center of your stamp and make a big mess. Okay. And I didn't rotate my stamp too much when I did this, so that it would be much easier to line up my elements for my repeated layers. So usually when I'm collage stamping, I twist just a little bit, but you don't want to do some this way and some upside down, because you'll have a devil of a time trying to line them up in the end. Okay, so there is our pretty layer. So now this I can take with my Stampin' Dimensionals and stick down. And you could go to a used bookstore or used book sale and buy old dictionary paper and stuff, or you could just get the Stampin' Up typeset designer series paper, which is perfectly ready for you, not to mention also acid-free if you're scrapbooker, lignin-free, all those good things. All right, now we have our label here, and the piece that I was looking for earlier is my Merry Christmas to You. So I'm going to use my black ink pad. I'm using Memento Black, which I love. You could also use the Archival Black or the Archival Gray, whatever ink pad you love. And I almost did it on the wrong layer. So what I want to do is I want to stamp this sort of to the top and the side of my pre-punched 2.5 inch circle. All right, and then this piece here, we're going to go ahead and stick down. Now, it would have been easier if I just left this, but all you need really is something with a square edge to use as your guide. So I'm going to use the back of my dimensionals, kind of get that set there, and then use my scissors to cut along the edges. Okay, so I'm pinching it exactly where I want it to show at the corner. And see, now I have a little corner bit. It got a little crooked. We'll trim that a tiny bit. A corner bit that's going to fit on here. So I'm going to take some of those Stampin' Dimensionals and stick this down here on my doily. And then I'm going to trim my doily to match, because I want the doily to match the edge of my card too. So you can save this and do another fun edge piece. Really, you could kind of get the same effect again from the same doily, so you could get 2 from 1. So save that, because really we, oh look it, I got 2 doilies in my package. That was a bonus. We stampers and scrapbookers, we have no problem with saving too much scrap, right? Nobody has that problem. Leave me a comment if you think you might need help in that area. Alright, so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. Oh, totally forgot, more gold. So this piece is going to go underneath, and it needs a banner. So cut once up in the center and then cut to your point so that you get your nice banner piece. Or use the triple banner punch, which also works very nicely. And you can slide that underneath there. And looks like, okay, I almost did this in completely wrong order. Before you slide it on there, although now I guess it's handy that I have adhesive on the back, I'm going to go ahead and tie this piece of gold ribbon around that was included. And this is actually not the one that was included. It's too short. This one was included. It's much longer. I think that was left over from one of my tags. And I'm going to just tie this in a bow. So now, once you've got the ribbon around it, you can probably stick it down. And the easiest way to tie the bow is to have it stuck to your paper when you're trying to tie, as opposed to tying way in the middle of the air. Okay. If you aren't happy with the way your bow looks, I find the most common fix is to shorten the loops. Okay, so that it's a little bit more petite and in line with the scale of the rest of your project. Okay, and then trim your ends. And we are almost done, but I think this card needs more bling, don't you? Yes, I know you're saying yes. So leave me a comment if you think we needed more bling. All right, so we have here that piece of sequin trim that we saved from the other project, the tag project, and I am going to go ahead and peel some of the sequins off of the end and stick them down. And there are a number of adhesives that you can use for this. My favorite one for right now is the glue dots, and they are just perfectly sequin sized. So I'm going to start sticking some sequins on here. If you have any questions about Stamps in the Mail Club, I would be happy to answer them. If you have been watching my videos for a while and you've been thinking, I don't know, maybe I should sign up, I haven't done it yet, and then you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so busy for Christmas, then my answer to you is now is the perfect time to get yourself a kit, because, hey, Merry Christmas to you, and because who has time to spend on other finding of supplies and figuring out what you're going to do, and these are projects ready to go for you this month. So be sure to request your kit. I have kits ready to go, and I would be happy to get a set in the mail to you so that you can make your very own projects. So, all right, that looks like a happy number of sequins. So there we go with our Stamps in the Mail Club project. Again, I look forward to stamping through my mail, and I appreciate watching my videos. Be sure to leave me a thumbs up if you like the projects that I'm sharing. Thanks so much. Happy stamping.